Welcome to the Gailey Show. We are the only daily LGBTQ news and talk show on the radio in the United States. I'm your host, John Parker, joined in studio by my executive producer, Jim Pounds.
Hey, all.
It is Friday. We end our weeks talking about culture and entertainment because LGBTQ artists, writers, filmmakers, theater makers, singer-songwriters are one of the most censored groups in America today. And every week we want to end our weeks lifting up their work for you to read, to watch, and to attend. What is on the show today? At the bottom of the hour, jazz singer, songwriter, band leader, multi-hyphenate Leslie Vincent will be joining us to talk about her newest album, just came out this year, just a few months ago, and her upcoming concert series, which will be across the Midwest in Minneapolis and Wisconsin and Iowa. So we'll have Leslie here at the bottom of the hour. Up first, reviews, because we haven't done reviews in a really, really long time. So let's start first with a series from Thailand, currently available on Netflix. It is called Love Like a Bicycle. Now, Jim thinks that we talked a little bit about this earlier this summer, but we've actually finished the series now. So we wanted to tell you, like, oh, okay. Now, it's part of the Thailand, as I've learned, has had a lot of girl love stories. And so this is actually a boy love story out of Thailand. And it is just came out this year. It is on Netflix, and it's the story of three young men of three different nationalities and their different styles of life and approaching love. All three of them were adopted and raised as siblings, and they love each other as unwaveringly as if they were blood relatives. And as it turns out, all three of them are gay. And so we get to see them navigating the three different gay relationships and how they go about doing that. And Jim, now that we've finished it, what was your final thoughts on it?
Did you say the name of it? For some reason, I was thinking we didn't say the name.
Love Like a Bike.
You did say Love Like a Bike. Okay. I thought it was sweet, and, sometimes it would be a little jarring because we'd have an intense scene about one aspect of somebody's relationship, and then the other one would be very soft and romantic, and then the other one would be very, randy and all that. So it seemed like it was a little schizophrenic, but it was three stories and three different people and that were all intersecting. So it's sort of, I don't know how you would make it any smoother than that, but there was some issues about mental, like trauma and, psychology. And that was, I think, thoughtfully handled and sensitively handled. And I don't know, I thought it was, the other thing I was aware of is that in the US version of something, there would have been a lot more intimacy, a lot more nudity, a lot more all that. And this was
There was quite a bit of intimacy, not as much nudity.
Yeah, it wasn't really sexy. It was more romantic, because I think this boy love thing is that's what that is. It's supposed to be romance, not, there was a little of that, but still, I thought it was gentle and I enjoyed it mostly.
Mostly. I think that the relationships were interesting because one was a relationship between a therapist and a guy who wanted to go to him for therapy, but obviously you can't do that. That violates like all rules of therapeutic practice. And so he went to a different therapist and was working on this past trauma of his. There's a reveal about it, about like the how of it and the who of it. So I don't want to reveal that ahead of time, but just to say that, there was abuse. And so he's sort of navigating that. And as he heals from that, he's able to have a more meaningful and deeper relationship with the therapist who he is attracted to. Then there's another relationship that is more confrontational. I would say more Brokeback Mountain-ish, where it's very like aggressive with each other.
Yeah.
Like they're more like they're as likely to like punch each other than they are to like make out, right? And so there's that, a lot of conflict in that relationship. And it is a weird version of will they, won't they? Because you're like, will they get together, or are they just gonna, punch each other in the throat? And so you kind of watch that relationship as it's going along, because one of them owns the store that's called Love Like a Bike, and so it is a cafe, but it also is a bicycle repair shop.
Right.
And so the owner of that, he employs this potential, romantic interest of his who is trying to pay off a debt to that his grandmother had accrued, took out to save the family home.
And what's the third relationship?
The third relationship. Now, this one was a little interesting because it wasn't like sex work, the third brother,
No.
but it was at a bar and you would do betting. So there'd be all these guys who work for the bar and they would come on stage and then clients
Betting.
would do sort of like, like so those celebrity auctions, where
Auction.
like, hey, auction off and you get to have a lunch with this person or you get to have so this was like drinks. You get to have drinks with this
It's
person.
company.
And
You're
so
buying company. Kind of.
right, and this third brother is very attractive, and so, of course, he's got bidding wars that happen for him, and there's one in particular, who he's doing his regular job of, like, entertaining at the club and da 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 da, and then he begins to fall for him, and then we sort of see the navigation of that, so it was a sweet story, there is some, jaunty music, the episodes are an hour long. There was one song in particular that I just couldn't get out of my head, and so I hear Jim talk while I look it up.
It I thought it was, for a long time, I thought, "Oh, are we gonna have to follow all of these equally?" But I do feel like the relationship with the
There it is.
traumatized person and the psychologist seem to be the main, at least in my view. Maybe everybody that watches it comes
Yeah,
away
that was the
thinking,
main because you see it right away
so it's
in the first episode, and then it
the
sort of
amount of
carries
time you
through.
spend with
Yeah.
them seems a little higher than the
And they're
others.
young, so,
Right.
there's the
There's
foibles of young love,
there's
even though, like, one of them is supposedly, like, a pilot,
there's like a
and you're like,
22-year-old
"Wait a minute."
airline pilot,
Yeah, it's,
like, wow.
you just need to look past that. But, the song is, by the artist is Louis Island, and the title is "I Know a Place." And it was fantastic. I went immediately onto Spotify and started
Wow.
playing it.
Wow.
So, yeah, Love Like a Bike, available on Netflix now, new series 2026. So also on Netflix, we actually have 3 shows from Netflix. Netflix, like, was doing nothing gay related, and then all of a sudden, like, for the longest time, we couldn't find any, like, queer content on Netflix, and now they're sort of, like, cranking them out
Well, they've been doing a
here.
lot of international development, so that and we're seeing
That's
that.
true. So this is actually another series from East Asia, and this one is a decade-spanning romance between 2 men, which started when Ryu Narutaki, a Japanese expatriate, encounters, Johan Huang, a boxer, who rescues him in a foreign country. So it's the pilot episode. Ryu is Japanese, and he leaves Japan to be with a friend in Berlin because something happens in Japan. I don't want to say what, but something happens. It's in the pilot episode. And so he goes to Berlin to sort of get out of Japan and get away from what happened. And while he's there, he goes into a church that someone firebombs, and Johan is in there. He happens to be in the church, and so he sees Ryu and he rescues him. He gets him out of the church, and Johan is actually Korean, and he's a boxer. And we first meet him. He's being by a promoter uh, bought off, being told that he has to throw the fights. Right, like he has to deliberately lose them, and so there's that conflict going on. And Ryu is a hockey player, and Johan is a boxer. I just said that. So they're both athletes and navigating it. It is a very slow burn series, and it's really interesting to watch their relationship develop because they also live in different countries. So at first, there's just this, kind of like, who are you? Yes, I saved you in a church, but Johan's sort of like, I've got other problems that I'm dealing with here. Like, I'm glad to have helped you, and I hope you have a great life. And then they just sort of, by circumstances bring them together. So they're like, oh, wait, okay, what's going on here? And they kind of reveal each other that, yes, they're both gay at the end of the pilot episode. And then you just sort of see them navigating. Now, they live in different countries, and Johan has to do compulsory military service. So he's gone for 2 years in Korea. And so you're sort of watching this slow burn relationship develop. And I see Jim rolling his eyes because he has a very Western attitude of it's got to be sex all the time. But Jim, why didn't you like this series
I
so far?
it was so restrained, which you gotta give somebody credit, and I think in this country, they're like, "Well, you can't make people sit around for a whole episode and basically nothing happens." But this was so deliberate, and I've read other people who said, "I didn't like it at first, it was too slow," but I've watched it a second time or I've thought about it a little bit more, and I kind of get it now. I'm more forgiving of it, or I'm more intrigued by it because it is very slow, but purposefully, I think. I don't think they're being, because they don't know what to do. I think they're being deliberately, like, tantalizing, and it's a kind of, friendship and relationship that's, happening too, but it's not in the Western style of they meet, they go to bed that night, and they're
It's
boyfriends the
not
next
heated
day.
rivalry.
But that's an extreme example, but yes, you're right, it's absolutely not. It's like the romantic far extreme of that. So it just required some patience. I wish I'd known that because I think maybe I would have given it more space than I started out going, what's happening? So I think you'll like it if you just slow your
If you're
roll
a
down.
fan of the Japanese reality series The Boyfriend, which is also on Netflix, love seeing all of this queer Asian content showing up on Netflix. Please keep it going, Netflix. But if you're a fan of that series, which is also very different than what like an American reality TV series is, right? Like they put a bunch of gay guys together in a house, but it's not just about like will they or won't they hook up. It's also like, how are they developing as human beings? Like, how do they navigate gay relationships? How they handle coming out? How do they handle dealing with families? How do they navigate dealing with Japanese culture? And some of those that live abroad and some who don't. And so there's even that sort of, the members of the diaspora and how they're then returning to Japan. And so it's this really sort of like personal development story that's really interesting. So if you like The Boyfriend, which I do recommend, I think that you will like Soulmate. But we have two more reviews to give you. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about a feature film, things like this. And we're also going to be talking about another Netflix series, Big Mistakes from Dan Levy. So keep it here, tuned to The Gailey Show. Quick break. Don't go anywhere. Hey, this is John Parker. This past winter was a hard one. So this summer, it's been a joy to me to get on the road and drive to Marquette, Michigan. It's the fresh coast. From the culinary hotspots to the miles of hiking trails in the North Woods and along the shoreline of Lake Superior, Marquette is where I go to get away from it all. A queer-friendly travel destination where I stargaze, eat delicious donuts at Huron Bakery, brunch at the LGBTQ-owned Cafe Bodega, discover new reads at Snowbound Books, and stroll the shops in Marquette's historic downtown. And there are so many hotels to choose from. I can wake up along Lake Superior's shoreline or have the walking convenience of being in the city. Can you see why I've been traveling to Marquette twice a year for over a decade? Plan your adventure like I do at travelmarquette.com. Welcome back to the Gailey Show. I'm John Parker in studio with my executive producer, Jim Pounds. We are providing some culture and entertainment reviews. So we've done two shows so far, both of which are on Netflix, Love Like a Bike and Soulmate. We're going to stay on the Netflix platform here to talk about Big Mistakes. Now, this is Dan Levy's newest series that he has out now, and it's about two directionless siblings who are blackmailed into the world of organized crime. And so there's three siblings actually all together. The third sibling is helping the mom launch a campaign to be mayor. And the cast is fantastic. Not only is it Dan Levy, but it stars Taylor Quinn as the other sibling who is directionless and who gets blackmailed. Taylor Ortega, goodness, is Morgan. Abby Quinn is the third adult, who is helping their mother, who is played by the incomparable Laurie Metcalf, and Laurie Metcalf is on point in this series. Jim, your thoughts?
I I love Laurie Metcalf, and I she's an actor who chews the scenery, and she does it unapologetically, and you always think, "Oh gosh, this train's gonna go right off the trestle into the ravine," and she keeps it on the track, and I don't know how she does it. And there's a sequence we've talked about where she's also made up extremely on top of this big performance style, and it worked. I don't know, I do not know how she does it. It's either brilliant editing or she's a brilliant actress or both.
Both.
But wow, is she good. And in my mind, she's the one that I'm more interested in, which I know is not what's supposed to be happening, but the siblings are they're bickering and they're kind of
Let's give a
petty
little
and
bit.
there's all that,
I
but
know you
I love her performance. Sorry.
I know how you hate when we actually give information here, but let's give our
Yeah.
listeners a little bit more information. So Dan Levy plays a pastor in a church. He is gay, but he doesn't come out to the church because it would be a thing. And his sister Morgan is a high school, or not, as a high school teacher, I
Yeah.
think a high school teacher, and their grandmother is dying. That's what's happening in the first pilot episode. And so Laurie Metcalf's character is like, go and get her a gift. And they're like, "What do you mean, get her a gift? You know, she's about to pass." And so they go to a store to get a gift, and they see this necklace. And the proprietor of the store, the manager's like, "That's not for sale." They get into a whole thing about it, like, "Why is it in the display case if it's not for sale?" And he's like, "Just leave me alone." And so Morgan, of course, steals the necklace and they give it to the grandmother, and she absolutely loves it, and they put it on her, and then she wears it for the funeral because she does pass. And it turns out that that necklace was supposed to go to an organized crime boss. And so they track down Dan Levy and his sister, and they say, he's like, "You got to go get this necklace back and do whatever you have to, because this necklace had a very important thing in this deal that these organized crime lords are doing." And so they end up being roped in to this organized crime in New York and New Jersey. I think they're in New Jersey. And so it is, at first you're sort of like, wait, what is going on here? But it mixes drama and action and comedy very well. I think I was a little worried that Dan wasn't going to have anything post Schitt's Creek. It sort of felt like a lot of the projects that he was doing after Schitt's Creek weren't really taking off and landing the same way that that series did. And I think this one is really, I wouldn't have expected him to write action as well as he does here, and it's very, very well done. And he is actually co-creating it with Rachel Sennett and some fantastic directors in the series, including Adam Bernstein and Colin Buxey and Dean Holland and Ian B. McDonald. So I think that it's a really good series. I really enjoyed it. We didn't do our rainbows ratings
Oh,
for these, but I would give this one a 4 out of 4 rainbows. Do we do 4 or 5? It's been so long.
I I didn't love it as much until the last episode when they finally changed the dynamic from bickering siblings into having a little bit of agency. And all of a sudden now, in episode whatever we're in, it started to get interesting to me. So I didn't
Don't
love it at the beginning.
don't watch the trailer. I know that sounds really weird, but, like, something's happening with trailers right now where they all look like Marvel movies, and the tone and speed of the trailer does not actually match the tone
Right.
and speed of the
Stick
series.
around till episode whatever we're at, and it does take a turn, and you'll know it when it happens, and I feel like it suddenly got really interesting
Yeah.
at
And
that
they
point.
even, like, I'm sure, listeners are going like, "Oh god," like a closeted pastor, like, haven't we seen this before? And they actually handle the nuance of it very, very well. I mean, there is what you would expect to happen in that story, but they actually don't drag it out very far. And it's interesting because Dan Levy's boyfriend is actually getting an award with Out and Loud, which is an organization for all of his work that he's been doing in the LGBTQ community. So it's really interesting. There's some sweetness to it. There's some levity to it. There is some, tension around it. So I was actually really impressed how they were navigating that storyline because we've seen it so many times.
I was less impressed with his writing of action than I was the fact that he was willing to do an intimate scene with a boyfriend, which he has avoided before. And so now I felt like, okay, now he seems to be growing up a little bit to me.
I mean, Schitt's Creek was a sitcom, so it was a little chaste, yes. This one's a little bit more. I mean, I don't want to use the word graphic because it's not graphic
No, it's grown
at
up.
all,
It's
but
more
it
grown
is it is more explicit.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would give. I think it's 5 rainbows that we used to do. So I would give Big Mistakes 5 out of 5. We didn't get to the film, so I guess we will have to do the film next time.
Okay.
But it's things like this. Actually stars an actor from St. Paul, Minnesota. So we'll try to get that to you next week, actually, because I know that we can fit that in there. So, all right. Those are our TV recommendations for you, all on Netflix. We're not paid by Netflix, by the way. So this is us just doing our thing. Anyhow, well, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have the also incomparable Leslie Vincent. So keep it tuned here to The Gaily Show. Welcome back to The Gaily Show. It is 33 minutes after the hour. Leslie Vincent is a jazz vocalist, songwriter, and band leader whose work blends jazz, swings, blue, pop, and singer-songwriter traditions with the theatrical instincts of a seasoned storyteller. Her third album, Little Black Book, just came out this past April via Jazz is Cool Records. It is her first full-length collection of original songs recorded with her longtime working band and featuring Jeremy Messersmith, Stephanie Weisler, Zach Marley, and Mary Alice Hutton. And Leslie, fun fact trivia about The Gaily Show, was the first ever guest on The Gaily Show on our second ever episode. And she returns now. Leslie Vincent, welcome back to The Gaily Show.
Oh, that is so funny. I forgot that I was your first guest.
You were, yeah. You're part of queer broadcasting history in Minnesota.
I love that, as I should be.
As you should. I know. If anybody is going to be the first guest of The Gaily Show, I think it should be absolutely Leslie Vincent. Yeah. So, Leslie, Little Black Book, tell us about it.
So, Little Black Book is comprised of tunes based around my real autobiographical dating history. So, spanning my search for love, men that broke my heart along the way, meeting my wife, getting married, and realizing what love really means. So it blends all kinds of different emotions. Dating and marriage has a lot of emotions. So there's certainly some romance on the album, but also some sadness, some anger, some longing, and some humor. There's a whole song about shopping at IKEA because that is the cornerstone of a couple taking the next step in their relationship.
So, listeners, Leslie is being very, very generous, and I have to find the where did I put the graphic? I had it here. Well, okay. Leslie is going to be very generous and let us sample a couple songs from the new album. So, Patrick, in our control room, can we play Analog Love Affair, which is the first track on Leslie's new album, Little Black Book?
There's no romance in a 9-to-5 world. That's what I know to be true. My emails take up all of my time, and I'd rather be with you. My boundaries need addressing. My body needs undressing. I want an analog love affair where no one gets to intrude. Let's run off to a place far, far away where our phones sit at the bottom of the shore, where the only sounds that we ever hear, nothing more.
Analog Love Affair by Leslie Vincent. In a digital, when I just saw the track title, and I feel like we're so saturated right now with AI and is social media sending this country into
Tailspin.
oblivion. And so when I saw Analog Love Affair, I was like, oh, yes, please. Tell us about the track title and the song, the story behind it.
Yeah, this is something that I've just felt for a long time. I always go back to this memory of when I graduated college, which was many, many years ago. I was like, I'm getting off the grid. I don't want to be on the internet. And at that time, I didn't even have a smartphone yet, if that gives you any idea of where I was. And so I've never quite loved just how interruptive our lives, how interruptive digital pieces can be in our lives. I hate being out to dinner and someone gets a notification. It just changes the whole vibe. I would love to live a life that is completely analog. It sounds so fun, so present, so juicy. And so I wrote this song I think it was in my car, actually. The first time I have this song, I'm driving, I can hear the blinker. And I just started to improvise some lyrics about what I was feeling and what I was wishing. And that became the first verse of the tune. And then I just kept going along with it. But yeah, everything I write are my real feelings, at least at this point in my career. And so these are beliefs I hold very dearly.
I love that. I love that. It just analog. I mean, wouldn't that be lovely? That was my growing up. Like that was, Jim, like for so many years, I mean, of your life. And I have to sometimes remind myself like, oh, we used to live without mobile phones and email 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and all of these chat messaging services. Like we used to like see each other IRL, and
we used to live without voicemail. I mean,
I know.
Oh my God, Jim.
I know.
Leslie, oh my God.
I can't even imagine without voicemail. Oh my God.
Good to get somebody on the phone.
I remember how just amazing a wireless telephone was, and how much just being able to like walk around. And anyway, okay, so Leslie is actually going to be in Wisconsin this weekend, tomorrow, actually Saturday, August 15th, in Glenwood City, Wisconsin. Tell us about the performance. What can people expect?
Yeah, so I'm bringing my full band out to Glenwood City. Everwood Farmstead is a really special place for me. It's where I wrote a lot of the records. So I was lucky enough to have one of their residencies. So I lived in the house at Everwood, and I wrote in the barn. I mean, I wrote all over the house, every single room. And a couple of tunes I wrote start to finish in the house. And so I love Bill and Chris who run the farmstead, and they are having a big event. So we play at 1:40, but there's things going on for the afternoon. There's some cocktail pairings. There's some cocktails based on our songs. So you could look forward to that. So cool. And yeah, we'll do tunes off the new record. We have some jazz standards that we have arrangements of, and then we're always cooking. So we have some new things that we've been working up.
Ooh. So this is Glenwood City, Wisconsin, tomorrow, Saturday, August 15th, 1:30 p.m. at Cultivate at Everwood. And it's actually, there's like a slew of people who will be performing all day. Yes?
There'll definitely be events all day. Yeah. There'll be all kinds of different things. Yeah.
Events all day.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But aren't we always performing, if you really think about it?
Because I mean, it's a busy Saturday for you, because then you're going to be right back here at Volstead's in Minneapolis, right?
That's right. It's my birthday, so I filled it with shows.
Oh, yeah, I'll be at birthday.
Thank you so much. So I'll be at Volstead's 8:30 to 11:30 p.m. This is a monthly residency I have. So It's a place that I love very much. And I basically told everyone in my life to come out and wish me happy birthday. So I'll be there with my pianist, Patrick, who you just heard on Analog Love Affair.
Mm,
And we love doing stuff, the two of us. So we'll do, our favorite jazz standards and some covers and some originals.
cool.
We are here with jazz vocalist, songwriter, and band leader Leslie Vincent talking about her traveling throughout, tour basically throughout the Midwest and her latest album, Little Black Book, which just came out earlier this year. I want to know more about the tour that you've got coming up here because you've got a bunch of dates here on August 23rd, and then on August 26th and August 28th, you're going to be at Music on the Lawn, Maggie's Lounge, at the Hewing. Tell us about those.
Oh man, I like to be everywhere all at once. So I'm like pulling up my show calendar to keep my details right. Okay, let me tell you the cool thing. So the 23rd is up at the Hewing. So I'm on the rooftop of the Hewing. It's a co-bill with Sarah Morris, who's one of the most gorgeous Americana and folk songwriters in the Twin Cities, I think in the whole wide world. So we're going to do 2 sets and then some combined tunes. That's at the Hewing on the 23rd. The 26th, Music on the Lawn is a full band show in St. Paul. So we'll be under the stars playing and singing our hearts out. Okay, Maggie's Lounge is a cool gig. So this is at Crooners, which is out in Fridley, Minnesota. And it's not a ticketed show. It's just a bar you can come and get a cocktail and listen. But those are the types of gigs where I'm the riskiest. So that's where you can see me trying new tunes, trying new scat solos, trying new things. You know, it's hard to put your risky stuff if someone's paid $40 for a ticket. You want to practice and get some good reps. And so if you want to see me do things that are more, just like not quite as polished, not quite as ready, every now and again I'll take a request. Maggie's is the place to do it. I know I have a strict no request policy, but sometimes I make exceptions.
Well, then, for folks who are listening on AM 950 radio, know that Crooners is a longtime supporter of AM 950 radio, and we've had several events at that venue over the years, including a debate watch party, if I recall, from a couple of years ago that we were at. So we love Crooners. Love them, and so it's very exciting that you're going to be out there. You have so many dates here that I also have them pulled up on my calendar here. We've actually got one more in August. You're going to be at Shania Twain night at the Turf
Oh
Club?
yeah, Shania night. Shania night is an annual tradition. So there's group gets together twice a year. We do Shania in the summer and Dolly Parton in January. And I'm lucky enough to be on this bill. I don't even know how I got here, but I've been doing it since I think 2017 or 2018.
Wow.
And it's been such a joy because I have made so many friends. And you know, I love the jazz community, but it's our community in Minnesota is so rich. And so this show has given me friends in rock, folk, Americana. That's how I know Sarah Morris. And so every year we just see each other, we share glitter, we pump each other up, we wear ridiculous outfits, and we sing Shania Twain with a house band. The house band is called A Little Too Short to Be Stormtroopers. And they put on this event to really lift up the women in our community. So
Nice.
they are fantastic gentlemen. And it's a big party. There's usually line dancing. People are usually screaming the lyrics with us. It is like, as someone who sings in quiet, more sophisticated venues, it is a joy for me to just be hooting and hollering.
Right.
No
rules.
Everybody's doing covers then of Shania.
Yep, everyone's doing classic Shania.
Are you allowed to tell us which ones you're
I can
doing?
tell you. I just got my assignments the other day.
Oh, you get signed? Oh my gosh, you don't even get to pick. You're assigned?
Well, it's like you send in your top 5 and then the organizer looks through everyone's top 5. So I'm doing Honey, I'm Home. And this song called Giddy Up. Okay, you're going to be like, I've never heard of Giddy Up. Giddy Up is one of her more recent singles. This will be my 3rd or 4th year singing it because even if you've never heard it, by the end of the song, you can sing along. It is perhaps her worst lyrics. You can't even believe she put these lyrics out. But it is such a bop. And so I heard it. I did a deep dive a couple years ago and I was like, let's just try it. Like, let's just try her new stuff. And giddy up. I'm telling you, go check it out and you'll be buying tickets to Shania Night.
Wow.
What would you all do if like Shania showed up?
I don't know. Because the whole point, like the other point of this is that she has some different political views. And so we like do this to raise money for different causes that she probably wouldn't like.
Oh, subversive.
That's
I don't know why I'm so nervous to say that on the radio, but
I love it.
Love that.
I do too. I love it.
Ooh, fantastic. Well, now everybody has to go to Shania Night.
Sell that out.
At the Turf Club on Saturday, August 29th at 8 p.m. If you're listening right now, you can get all of your tickets to any of these dates at Leslie's website, which is lesliedellavincent.com, Della, D-E-L-L-A, Vincent.com. You just click the shows tab at the top of the page and you'll see all of the dates and all of the locations, all the times, and obviously the most important, the button to get your tickets. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to hear another sample track from Little Black Book, and it's named Harriet the Spy, which is fantastic for a queer book written by a queer author. So keep it tuned here to The Gailey Show. Don't go anywhere.
cute.
Welcome back to The Gailey Show. We are coming up on the top of the hour. Over the past several years, Leslie Vincent has become one of the most recognizable jazz vocalists to emerge from Minneapolis while increasingly touring throughout the Midwest. Downbeat described her as, quote, as much a storyteller as she is a jazz singer, end quote. And The Big Takeover praised her as, quote, controlled and beautiful voice, one that sounds timeless. End quote. Her newest album, Little Black Book, is out now, and she's touring across the Midwest this summer and fall. Let's play another sample from another track from Little Black Book. This one is called Harriet the Spy.
All alone sat Harriet the Spy, till we taught her to tell all those little white lies. I've been thinking about this mouth of mine, and where my thoughts can go when they bubble up inside. All alone sat Joan of Arc, sitting there spinning her truths into the dark. And I know that there's something you'd like to spill, but you know you can't. You never will.
That was Harriet the Spy, a sample of from Leslie Vincent's new album, Little Black Book. Tell us about that track.
Yeah, so Harriet the Spy is something I've thought about basically since I saw the movie as a kid, which is, what is an appropriate truth to think about or say out loud when it comes to other people? So I am from the East Coast. I was raised to be judgmental. And as I adapt to Midwest sensibilities, it's always hard for me to understand what is worth saying out loud and what is not worth saying out loud. And so this song is about that. I know I broke John. Oh no.
The Midwest is a very tiny little narrow space to live in.
To be judgmental. I gotta put that on a t-shirt. Merch when you're at Crooner's Supper Club.
Yes.
Like, tanks and t-shirts. I was raised to be judgmental. I'm sorry.
My mom will love it. So yeah, this song is just about the struggle of like, what does it mean to say your truths out loud? And the chorus is, the world doesn't have the room for all our truths. Better to keep them close to you. Your petty observations and your honest revelations. What good could they do? And I think that is just a question worth asking all the time. You know, sometimes we have really, really helpful things to say, and the other person is not open to receiving it. And sometimes they aren't, you know, sometimes they're petty and you're like, do I really need to tell my friend that what she did was tacky? Maybe not.
Right.
But there's part of me that's like, our truths could really make the world better. And if we just weren't quite so sensitive, we could all be better. But I struggle with this on a daily basis. I definitely, I have one of those mouths that like, I just say stuff. Like I don't have a lot of filter sometimes. And I'm an external processor. And so, yeah, I probably shouldn't be thriving as much in Minnesota as I am, honestly.
They don't want to tell you to leave because they're too afraid to do that. You know
It's so true. My first year living here, people all the time thought I was being serious when I was joking. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to fix this.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, now you can see this is why Leslie Vincent is renowned as a storyteller and as a jazz singer, because you think about these things on such a different level, I think, than a lot of people do. And even I remembering our conversation with Michelle T, right, on this queer book Save My Life, and like you got her thinking a lot. Like I was watching her face as you were, talking about your album and how the responding to her book and all of that, and she was just digging it. She was like, oh my god, she was so there with you. And Michelle T, I mean, come on.
Oh my gosh, I know. That was so cool.
Right. Okay, so for our listeners in Madison, you are going to be at the North Street Cabaret on September 17th. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so North Street Cabaret has become a home away from home. I'm there twice a year. And let me think. We're going to have piano, bass, drums, trumpet, and me. So nice full band for the stage. Last time we were there, it was raucous and full of people. So if you want to come, get those tickets early. And yeah, we'll do tunes from the new record, and we'll do some surprising stuff. We have a really cool lineup for that show. So it'll be both a raucous and an emotional time.
What's a Madison crowd like? Is it?
Oh my God. No, a Madison crowd is wild. You know, in the cities, everyone is reserved. Everyone is chill. In Madison, they are really vocal in the best way, laughing. Yeah, it kind of like Shania, honestly, like hooting and hollering, which you don't really get in jazz. So I love this space. And then I actually haven't announced it yet, but I'll be in Milwaukee the next night over at Bar Centro.
Ooh,
yeah.
Breaking news on the Gailey Show.
I know.
So 2 stops in Wisconsin. That is fantastic. And then on October 8th, we're not in Iowa yet, but if you all want to drive down to Iowa in Des Moines, Leslie is going to be, is it Noche?
Noche, yeah.
Noche, okay. I figured NOCE is probably not noise.
I had the same thought, though, the first time I heard it. I was like, how are we saying this?
All right. Well, the album is Little Black Book. Connect with Leslie at lesliedellavincent.com. On TikTok, she is Leslie Vincent Jazz. On her website, lesliedellavincent.com. You need to sign up for her newsletter because it's got all the information that you can want and need from Leslie Vincent. So be sure to sign up for that newsletter at lesliedellavincent.com. Leslie, it was so great to see you again. Let's not wait 2 years before we see you again.
We won't, I promise.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thanks everyone for listening and or watching today on YouTube. That is all for us. We will see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. And until then, keep it queer, America.
Keep it queer.